Welcome on in. We will get started in just 2 minutes. Please stand by. We will get ready in just 2 minutes. Please stand by. Give me a thumbs up if the audio is clear on your side. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. We will get started momentarily right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Appreciate you. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. We will get started in just a few minutes right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Please stand by. Please stand by. Give me a thumbs up. You guys can hear me inside the comment box. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, and welcome on into the show. Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how the audio is. I know we've been working on the audio for the last couple days, so I want to make sure that it is nice and tight and button it up for you guys right here on tonight's show. Appreciate you guys following me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. It's been amazing to see the continued recruiting for Alabama football, right? Let's make sure that we got everybody checked in. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. I appreciate you guys being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Refresh the chat. Okay, you guys can hear me. We good. All right, let me refresh the chat. All right. Michael Carroll, what's up? Appreciate you coming in. David, Prayden. All right, we got some tabs on here, okay? We are trying to increase our fan funder mode, okay? So $2.99 to support the product right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Remember, free to watch, not free to produce. I appreciate it. Just now while I'm typing this, my daughter hits me up and she's like, can I get some Roblox? You know what these are? Roblox. I'm going to say yes. Yes, we are. Parent first. All right. Okay. Look, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to open up the call line 205-850-1994. We appreciate you guys being here. Chris, why don't you call in, man, get the show started. And I've been working on the audio all day. Remember, I had some audio issues throughout, but remember, we are striving for perfection all the time. And I appreciate you being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. The cold summer thing, I love it. But I have to tell you, like in real life, like when you really live here, Marina, California, Rob P, what's up, man? I got you, man. You know I love California. In fact, Jackson Lloyd is on watch. And in fact, he is committing tomorrow at 2 p.m., okay? Let me ask you, okay? And this is for Alabama's next commit, Jackson Lloyd, okay? 2 p.m. Central Time. Where do you think he's going to commit to? Think it's going to be the Alabama Crimson Tide? If you do, type Y right now inside the comment box. So, Marina, California. I used to live in Los Angeles. I miss Los Angeles. I loved California. I'm telling you, though, this cold summer, right? Matthew, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Man, it's hot here. Like in real life, it is hot, okay? Like scorching hot. But it's fine, you know. Lived here for now 8 years. You deal with it. And let's see if we can get the call line to work, all right? I'm on a new setup. So this is how it's going to work. You, inside the comment box, if the audio is good, just give me a thumbs up. If it sucks, tell me like, no, man, like we got to scrap, and I appreciate it, okay? 6 hours north of LA. One time, and back when I was younger, I drove from Los Angeles to San Francisco. It was one of the stupidest things I've ever done. It probably took me about 9 hours, to be honest. I'll never do it again. I'd rather just fly there. But, yeah, California traffic don't play. All right, Chris from New Jersey's on. The call line is 205-850-1994. Tell me how the audio is sounding, all right? So 3, 2, 1, here we go. Chris from New Jersey. Chris, what's up, man?
Kyle, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Can we get an audio check?
Audio is good. This morning it was a little rough.
Oh, this morning it was.
Sounds real good now.
This morning it was trash. This morning I went back and listened to it, and I was like, are they, because the Undefeated Wall, I would give you the best feedback, right? And
yeah,
God
definitely.
bless. I went back and watched the show, and I had to trim a bunch of it because it sounded like I was a robot. Anyways, Chris from New Jersey here. I appreciate you. It's been a minute. But Matthew Newton is saying good. Chris, how you been, man? This cold summer, it's been amazing to see what Alabama's been doing on the recruiting front, man. Go ahead. Give me your take as we check up
from you every afternoon. What new player we're getting? So it's by the way, I'm also watching on the SEC network. It's the replay of the SEC championship game against Georgia.
Ooh.
So we got it all going on tonight, Kyle. I'm excited. I mean, listen, you blink an eye, it's going to be training camp. So you're going to have to start putting up like the schedule when they're due. And and has there been any inside scoop about how Ryan Williams is settling in? I'm dying to know, Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit on a really great point. And if you guys want to talk recruiting or team, I'm all for it. Tonight is kind of just like an open mic night. This is a great point to start on, though. And we're talking with Chris from New Jersey. Ryan Williams, since he's been enrolled, he's been utilized. Who plays chess on here? All right. Some people like to take the queen out because it's the most dynamic piece on the chessboard. Ryan Williams is that piece, and they're utilizing him in terms of recruit. Like, I'm serious, because he's all over the place with in the photos that they're having. Like, he's in the photos with the number 1 running back in the country, Ackland Deer. He's in the photo. So I think it's a brilliant move by Coach Kalen DeBoer. Ryan Williams has been dying to get here. I can't imagine the players who are summer enrollees salivating, right? Because Savages want to play with Savages. Now that he's here, they are utilizing him, and they're letting him just run, because you always need somebody who has that energy, that big smile that he has. And look, I know the kid is going to absolutely ball out. I asked my morning crew and the lunchtime crew. Now I'm going to ask the evening crew, and I'll ask you, Chris, okay? Who catches for more yards? All right, this has been my daily question.
I said Ryan.
Who'd you
I
say?
don't know if you saw what I wrote in the chat, Kyle. I wrote Ryan Julio Williams.
All right, so if you missed it, this is my question. My question was, who catches for more passes, Ryan Williams or Caleb Odom? All right, it is more yards this year. Let me know inside the comment box.
All right, Kyle, I got to tell you, really, the thing I've been wanting to talk to you about the most, and I've been stewing over this. So, obviously, you and I spoke many times about stealing our safety, Ohio State, Downs, and we were smarting. We didn't even have a coach yet, but I would love to snatch this guy. How do you say it? Oford?
Yeah, Naheem Oford. Yep.
Oford. So I think that is like we dagger them back by stealing him from their class. So it's like, Kyle, the Bible says an eye for an eye, my friend.
Look. Another great point. Naheem Oford, number 1 player out of the state of Alabama, just like Ryan Williams was in the class of 2024, which is crazy to think about this, Chris. Ryan Williams should be in the class of 2025. He reclassified to 2024. He won the Mr. Football Award when he was, 15 and 16 years old, and we got our first super chat in. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bama football fan. We love you. We appreciate you. Naheem Oford, all right? Is he on Flip Watch? I don't know. But it seems like when he was here, he was all smiles. And who are they utilizing to recruit him? None other than Ryan Williams. And look,
Ryan Julio.
And look, everybody is out there, and everybody is asking, where are the 5 stars? When are the 5 stars coming? They're coming. They are. Okay? Naheem Oford could be one of them. Dejan.
Well, a couple of these guys are probably going to get an extra star already.
Yeah.
A couple of the 4 stars. So
there you go. Exactly. And I think Keelan Russell and he has an opportunity to, guess what? Earn it. Not just the Bama bump, but Keelan Russell, the quarterback at Alabama, is going out to the Elite 11 to battle against the other top quarterbacks across the country. He's going to be evaluated by On3 24/7 rivals. He can earn that on his own merit. I think when you look to Dejan Lee, he's another 5-star out of California. That's another guy to watch. How about Ty Haywood, the offensive tackle out of Texas, right? And you know who's here today? Khalil Lockett, who's a 5-star. Okay, he's here until the 19th. And so is Caleb Edwards from Mississippi. So, man, look, be careful because the 5 stars are coming. Just like, remember when they said, oh, look at this little animation we got on the screen. I don't even know how you do this. But we have, it's like a zombie. Look at this. This is amazing. But you had, did you see that? Who saw that? I didn't even see that. But remember, because you guys know I'm watching Game of Thrones, doing the rewatch. Winter is coming, okay? So, like, the cold summer is going to get colder, so be careful. Chris, anything else before I move to my next caller?
No, that's all. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is, DeBoer has only really called out one. I mean, he's called out a few, like, Malachi for being such a good big brother. But he's only calling out Ryan Williams before the guy's even been to one practice. Kyle, that's something. So I'm excited. So all right. Well, I'm glad the call-in show is back. So I love everything that's going on. We all probably all needed a break, right? So So happy. It's going to be summer by the end of the week. Have a great night. I'll be listening, and roll tide, my friend.
All right, roll tide to you too, man. I appreciate you, man. All right, that's my boy Chris out in New Jersey. We got a 912. We'll take it right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Matthew Newton, man, from all the way down here in Nichols, Georgia.
Matthew Newton, man, what's up? I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us on Monday Night Football. We're talking Alabama recruiting team. Chris opened it up. He's talking about Ryan Williams, Naheem Oford. He's talking about the big guns, okay? Welcome in, Matthew. I appreciate your support inside the comment box. Bama football fan with the $20 super chat. We're off to a hell of a start, and we appreciate you calling in, Matthew. Thank you so much, man. Welcome on and come with it, man. What you got? What's on your mind? Let it run.
The thing that sticks out to me about, this Kalen DeBoer recruiting, that was the big question for me when we made the hire was how well would he recruit in the SEC without really having any ties to the conference? And the thing that makes the biggest impact to me is Alabama was really, as far as their 2025 quarterback, they were back and forth about who they were going to look at. When they hired Kalen DeBoer, like his first target, he really full-fledged went after was Keelan Russell. And Russell had been committed to SMU for a while. Like, he'd been committed to SMU for a minute. And the thing that encourages me is when he got ready to sit down and go after somebody in less than 2 months, he had flipped. He committed to Alabama. So it really just encourages me to see that if he wants to go after a target, he can go out and do that effectively.
Matthew, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, and I see this a lot, and I saw it earlier on the comment box when I'm like reading my videos, and people are like, "Oh, we're flipping recruits from SMU." No, you know what? Hats off to SMU for being able to do due diligence and be able to go after Keelan Russell early in his recruitment process, honestly. Because when you see him and you look at his highlights, look, I don't know if he's going to be a 5-star. Whatever the case is, from my observations, this quarterback has really good touch. He's an athletic quarterback. I think he fits in Coach Kalen DeBoer's philosophy perfectly, and he's going to have an opportunity now to become further developed by Elite 11, finish out this next season against quality competition in the state of Texas. I really like that addition, and I like the quote today that he gave on 3. He said he's thriving. What did he say? He said that he is thriving to get better, and I love that, and I said that earlier. Is the fact that he's able to have that mentality. You want that from your quarterback. You want that warrior mentality. And when you come to Alabama, you better be ready to understand where you are on the totem pole, specifically at the quarterback position. There's a lot of quarterbacks right now on the roster that could have left and been impact players automatically, right? Ty Simpson's one of them, right? He could have left, but guess what? He knows that iron sharpens iron, and he knows that one season could set the tone. How many seasons did Mac Jones have here at Alabama? Sound off inside the comment box. One season. And what did he do with those opportunities? He led his team to a national championship. And then he got drafted in the NFL. So love that mentality. Yeah, 100%. So what else you got, Matthew? I appreciate you joining us, man. Go ahead.
The second thing, I know this has kind of been a topic that's cooled down a little bit, but it's something that stayed kind of in the front of my mind is the defensive back room. A lot of people were talking about the inexperience. Another thing that's really encouraging from Kalen DeBoer is seeing that he went out in the portal and picked up some guys. But, a lot of people, the question was, would they be able to develop chemistry in that defensive back room with a lot of them being new players? And I think, honestly, it will be easier for those guys to mesh just because they're all new to each other as well as being new to the system. So, like, 5 or 6 of the guys we brought in, it's been called Nick Saban's parting gift, was the defensive back recruits from this year. And when you look at those guys, they're all coming in from different systems, different schools, different states in the country. And then you bring in the transfers, Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson, the young man from Charlotte, I forget his name. You bring in a couple of those new guys. I think it's going to be easier for those guys to mesh just because it's not just like if you had 2 seniors and 2 freshmen trying to mesh. It's a lot of guys that are new to this system as well as being new to each other. So I think that they'll be able to mesh pretty well. And I think, it's one of those things that people are getting kind of tore up about, will we be able to develop chemistry? I've already seen another thing that encourages me about this team is how bonded together they are. These guys are, you look at Ryan Williams, he's recruiting. Ryan Williams is a recruiter for this team. You've seen a couple of videos with him and Naeem Oford, a couple other guys. He's recruiting players to come. And it shows to me a tremendous amount of character from a player. Some of the guys that are recruiting other players to come, they're going to be competing for their job. A lot of teams, they wouldn't want those players, those big-time high school recruits to come because they might take their job, and they very well might. So it speaks volumes to me, and I think that comes from the top. Kalen DeBoer is that kind of guy where he is connected to his team. He's bonded together with them, and I think it's rubbed off on his players and his team, and I think it's going to be really good when the season gets here.
Yeah, good stuff, Matthew. I'll answer you on the other line, but I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much for the feedback, and thanks for supporting the show, man. Matthew calling in, and I want to get to his point, roadside to you, Matthew. He brings up an excellent point, and that was Matthew calling in from Georgia. Okay, so you have the transfer portal chemistry, because I've been wondering about that as well. Lately, it seems like this team has continuity, cohesiveness, chemistry, whatever adjective you want to use about talking about team chemistry within inside the locker room. They're kind of letting it go, and they're letting these players come together as a team. I love the mentality. A couple things that he brought up is you look at this Alabama secondary team. They only have one returning starter back there, which is Malachi Moore. You have Damani Jackson, who's coming in. You have Keon Sabb. You have Deshaun Jones. You have Cam Howard. And then you have Malachi Moore, who's the guy who's returning, right? Played over 540 snaps. I think when you look to Alabama's defensive secondary, people are going to think that there's holes within the secondary because none of those guys played together. Well, that could be the case, but a lot of those guys do have experience at other programs, other conferences. I'm curious to see if Deshaun Jones can be a starter over a Xavier Brown or one of these younger freshmen. But I think to compound on that, remember, Alabama also lost Coach Saban, who was their corners coach. They also lost T-Rob, who was their secondary coach. So you add in Mo Lindquist and you add in Colin Hitchler, right, underneath Kane Wommack's system. And I think also they need to gel together. And look, they're going to get plenty of opportunities to gel early on in the season because look at the quarterbacks that they're playing early on during the season. This front half of the schedule, you do have Georgia in there, which everybody's looking to. But let's just kind of pause and think about the quarterbacks that Alabama is playing within the first games of the season. All of those quarterbacks have experience. All of them. Every single one of them. Okay, first game of the season. TJ Finley. You don't think he's going to test Alabama's secondary? Alabama's already seen this guy. Now he's at Western Kentucky. He's like 6'7", right? Now you have the second game. Alabama already played that quarterback last year from South Florida. Third game is going to be Tyler Van Dyke up at Wisconsin. Then you have Carson Beck, right, for Georgia. And then after that, you have Vanderbilt's quarterback, Diego Pavia, who played at every single game for New Mexico State, led New Mexico State, my alma mater, by the way, to their best season, I think, ever. So the secondary is going to be tested. And that is a good thing because the back end of the schedule, you think they're going to be tested in the front end? Just wait till you get to the back end of the schedule when you are tested with games on the road against LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and so forth. Man, that's going to be a wild back end for Alabama's schedule. We go to our next call in, and actually, call-in line is open. So if you guys want to chat with me tonight, 205-850-1994. My name is Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here and talking with me, Alabama Crimson Tide football. Earlier today, if you missed any of my recruiting shows, there's a lot going on in Tuscaloosa, and there's some big-time guys that are currently here. And when we kind of look to, actually, let me bring that up. When you look to the guys that are specifically here, a couple of guys that I want to highlight. Khalil Lockett, he's a 5-star wide receiver out of the Lone Star State. And I think this is important, okay? So he's here with Caleb Edwards, who's another 5-star out of the state of Mississippi. these guys are here getting the red carpet treatment. I'm sure we'll see a couple photos in the next couple of days. Remember, we are in commitment watch tomorrow with Jackson Lloyd, who is a 4-star. I think he's the number 6 overall offensive tackle in the entire country, out of the state of California. We'll talk about more about him in just a second. But Khalil Lockett, this is interesting because of the connection with Keelan Russell, who is the quarterback out of the state of Texas. I know those two have been talking, and Savages want to play with Savages. Khalil Lockett, go check out his highlight tape. Guy's absolutely phenomenal in every sense of the word. And then Mississippi. Look, we continue to say that. The state to the west of Alabama has some big-time prospects. Yesterday, you brought on Landon Simmons, who is a defensive tackle. And if you heard me talk about defensive tackles, I think they need a lot of development. I really like the addition that Freddie Roach was able to bring in terms of a defensive tackle. So those are the things that we're kind of watching throughout the next couple of days. This weekend is going to be really cold, cold meaning hot, hot meaning cold, whatever you want to call it, because you have Dejon Lee, one of the top cornerbacks in the entire country. He's coming in. And then you also have Ty Jackson, out of the state of Florida. It looks like it's between Alabama and Georgia, so Alabama will have its opportunity to be able to put their best foot forward with another top prospect. I think overall things are absolutely rolling for Alabama, and for several different reasons. Number one, it's the fact that Kalen DeBoer is genuine. He's put a good staff around him. He's done such a good job letting these coaches do their thing. He hasn't micromanaged. He's not a micromanager. I think Coach Saban was a micromanager, and it worked under Coach Saban. And I think it's going to work under Coach Kalen DeBoer. So as you kind of look to this recruiting, it's going to continue to heat up. We didn't even talk about the punter that Alabama landed on Sunday, right? Alex Osberhoff out of California as well. I think he was the number 3 overall punter if you go by Cole's Kicking Academy. I saw somewhere that they had him the number 1 punter overall. James Burnup returns. I love that. Graham Nicholson, he comes. He's another transfer guy. I love that. I think Alabama special teams across the board, probably A+. I still don't know who's going to return kicks or punts, but I guess we'll see that in due time. I think you have plenty of guys to choose from. I would personally like to see maybe Ryan Williams be a punt returner, be a kick returner. Who else? I mean, maybe Jeremy Bernard. Maybe Jeremy Bernard because he has done that in previous stops. I don't know. So I guess we'll just have to see who's going to be returning kicks and punts. But I put it I want like a Jalen Waddle type guy, returning punts, returning kicks. So that's kind of my spiel tonight. So I just wanted to come on and talk Alabama football with you, hit on a couple key points. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time and throughout the day as news happens. And I think a big one is coming to Alabama. Look, I'm telling you, Matthew Newton is saying Kendrick Law. That could be a really good addition. Look, as much as I love Jaleel Billingsley in the past, I never understood why they had him returning kicks. That was like the one thing that I didn't agree with because he wanted a speed guy returning kicks, right? I think Kendrick Law would be a hell of a returner. And I think that they will utilize him the way he should have been utilized even more in the past, right? They should have done a better job doing that. So tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Time, you have a big commitment coming your way, my opinion. I don't do predictions, but it looks like the writing is on the wall for Jackson Lloyd. My name is Kyle Henderson. Hey, Bama football fan, thank you so much for the super chats. I love you. I appreciate you. Got the zombie running across the screen. Matthew, thanks for calling in. Chris from New Jersey, thanks for calling in. Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for content as it drops right here on Bama football on YouTube. Roll Tide to you. Have a beautiful night. Get rest, and we will see you on Tuesday morning.